Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Women's Wednesdays. I have an exciting guest here tonight. Her name is Taylor Hutcheson. I know I just messed that up, but I can't wait to bring her on. She is phenomenal. She's been one of my inspirations when I started overlanding. Hey, Taylor, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Doing good. So, tell everybody a little bit about you. A lot of people may not know about you. So, tell us some about yourself.
Yeah, no worries. Taylor. I'm from North Georgia, a little town called Dahlonega. It's pretty small. You either know it or you don't. I'm 22. I'm a single mom, and I run an off-road group called Wander Off-Road, where we try to do like cross-country trips and lifestyle gear. Full-time student. I work. Got a kid. Doing the overland thing on the side.
I love it. So, how old is your daughter first?
She is 2.5.
2.5. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I do not miss that face.
She has a lot of energy.
Yes. When my daughter hit 3, I discovered 3-nager. That was fun. That's like little bitty body attitude of a teenager. It was horrible. So good luck with that.
I think I'm already there.
Already there.
Yeah, she's a lot.
She's a lot. I love it. Well, so tell us a little bit about your rig.
Well, I have a 2016 Tacoma. Right now it's on 3-inch lift. I got 35s on it, stock gears. You know, my miles per gallon are great, but smiles per gallon are definitely a lot higher. I'm running a CVT rooftop tent. I kind of budget build, honestly. Again, I'm a single mom. I kind of live with my parents. I can only work so much. So I try to do things as economically friendly as possible.
Okay, so I love the miles per gallon, but smiles per gallon was awesome.
Yeah.
that was fantastic. So tell us a little bit more about your group. So it's Wander Off Road. It's based there out of Georgia, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us more about that.
Well, I started the group. I was actually previously married. It was a messy situation, so I got out of it. I moved back in with my parents, and I started the group because I wanted to get into the off-roading. This is over a year ago before I knew anything about overlanding and off-roading at all.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I had always been interested in the camping and the vehicle camping. I had friends who did it in high school, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I started the group kind of as a way to make some friends in the area in that community because I thought it was cool. It seemed like something I wanted to get plugged into, but I wasn't liking how I rode with another group for a while, but I didn't totally gel with them. They was with my kid. I wanted something that was safe to bring her out with. And so I started my own group as a way to make that connection. And then from there, it just kind of turned into more of a full-on passion where I wanted to take people on these awesome overland trips across the country where maybe they didn't know how to plan for it. Maybe they didn't know, where to start. Cool. I handle the details for you. I'll make sure everything's, if we have campsites, I'll book it. Certain meals, take care of it. All you have to do is plan to be at a certain spot and we handle the rest of the experience. You get to just show up and be there. So from there, it morphed into that desire to do that. And we had our first trip last year to Colorado, which was a fun experience.
I know I missed it, but I was leaving to go to Arizona. We were taking the kids from Oklahoma to the Grand Canyon, Horseshoe Bend, all of those, 2 weeks after your trip. And I was like, no, I want
to go. Yeah, the timing didn't work out.
Right.
Yeah, but it was a fun trip. We learned a lot of things that we're doing differently for next year, which is good. It would have, we needed to go through the pain to get to the good part. It's growing pains, but no, it was a blast. And so next year we're going to do Montana, we're going to do Moab, and we're going to do Colorado again. So those are getting posted really soon. So get ready for that.
That's awesome. Well, my husband's saying it would have been so much fun to join you guys on your Colorado trip. It looked phenomenal from the pictures.
Absolutely. It was a blast. It was fun.
That's fantastic. I'm still so upset that we missed it, but we had a good time on our Arizona trip instead. So do you have any upcoming trips planned? You said that you're looking at this year. What are
Yeah.
you thinking about doing?
Well, other than like the Colorado, Moab, and Montana, we're gonna do a few more like team-based trips for like our kind of our OG group, where we're gonna plan, like, we're hoping to drive the whole original Route 66 and shoot a whole video series on it, and literally starting in Chicago, going all the way to the coast. We're gonna stop in Joshua Tree because we promised some awesome guys from Slim's Depot that we would meet them there.
Okay.
We're doing some Windrock trips. We're looking into doing a canoe trip that I'm hoping can pull off, because we kind of also believe, like, we have a new motto that's beyond overlanding. So we're overlanding and more, and so we want to introduce other things, like, yes, your vehicle gets you to these places, but you could also do these epic canoe ideas. You could do these cool hiking things and still basing it out of your vehicle, but it's more than just off-roading. It's expanding on what overlanding originally was versus what it's become. It's kind of become more Instagrammable, and we wanted to get back to the original form of overlanding, which a lot of people hold to. But so we're doing the Route 66. We're doing the canoe trip, talking about doing a backpacking trip, which would just be backpacking, just because I thought it would be fun. We're going to Windrock next weekend as well.
I saw that on your page pop up.
Yeah.
I think you sent me an invite to it, but with the craziness with work right now, I can't. So my husband's asking, with Montana, are you going to be going to Glacier?
Yes. We're going to be starting in West Yellowstone, not Yellowstone National Park, but the town in the top left corner of Yellowstone National Park. We'll be starting in West Yellowstone and venturing up all the way to Glacier National Park, and we'll be spending a whole day in Glacier doing a little bit of hiking.
Okay.
And a couple different things. Philip was going to do some milder stuff, and then I was going to take a group out to do the Highline Trail. The Highline Trail, which is a little more intense, but it's supposed to be really incredible.
Well, apparently my husband's excited about this trip because he's trying to convince me that we need to go on one for a 2-week long trip of he wants to go to Glacier and he wants to go to Yellowstone. And I think I said that. I think that's right. I'm like, I just don't know that I'm ready to be in the 4Runner with him and our 13-year-old and 9.5-year-old for that long. So we'll see how that one goes.
Well, I mean, they're old enough.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so the Arizona trip that we did back in July, we didn't let them take electronics. So the whole week-long trip was no electronic weekend. Jeff and I had our phones, and we had my iPad for navigation. I thought the kids were going to die. So we'll see what happens on a 2-week-long trip. But I wanted them to embrace it. And I wanted them to be part of it and, everything else. And with you talking about wanting to go back to, bringing in kayaking and things like that, my last guest, Valerie, she and her husband spent 6 weeks in Baja. And they have an inflatable kayak that they went and did all of that. So my husband and I are looking at those possibly to pack up with us when we do our trips, just to bring in more adventures.
That would be awesome. Yeah, those inflatable paddleboards are really cool too. I thought about getting one.
Yeah, I'll have to send you the link for the canoe that they have.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, I will. So our friend Donald saying that if you're going to be coming through Oklahoma for Route 66, which definitely, when I bought my 4Runner, the first summer I had it, still stock, for something to do with the kids, we hit from the Kansas border through to Oklahoma City, just hitting Route 66, different sections of the weekend, on the weekends. And it's fun.
Ooh. Yeah, I've always wanted to do it. Me and my friend I got inspired by this trip last October. Me and my friend Ross Binder got in my truck and we're like, let's go out west for 2 weeks. And we did a little whimsically, like I knew it was coming, but we kind of didn't really know where we were going. But we ended up finding parts of like the original Route 66, and we drove through, I'm probably going to butcher this, it was like Tucumcari, New Mexico.
Tucumcari.
Yes, that.
Yes.
I was like, I could spell it. I can't say it. But we drove through that, and I was like, what if we drove the whole thing? Like,
right.
it'd be so cool. And then since then, I've had that idea formulating in my head. And like over the summer, even in Colorado, I was like kind of throwing out ideas. I was like, would this be cool? Like, would you watch this video? And tons of people were like, that would be like the coolest thing ever to watch. And I was like, we're going to do it.
I love it. I might have to join you on that one. Lee's asking if you're going to be doing any fly fishing while you're in Montana.
That's actually a good idea.
That's a good idea. Your list is just growing.
I hadn't thought about it, but I might put that on the list because it's actually a phenomenal idea.
That is a good one. And of course, I warned you about him and his Georgia stuff.
Oh, my word.
Yep. I told you it was coming. I gave you, yeah. So, Dawn, are you making a list for the fly fishing right now? I love it.
Yes, I'm writing that down. It was important.
That's fantastic. So my husband's asking if you're talking about doing the group trip for Glacier.
Yes. So the Glacier trip would be a group trip. We'd start in West Yellowstone. We'd see a few ghost towns. We would be going through a bison reserve and seeing there's supposedly like thousands of bison on like a 20,000 acre plot, and you can drive through the whole thing.
Okay.
And we'll be camping by a ghost town, and we'll be visiting another tourist ghost town, and wrapping it up in Glacier, and as well as some other things. I can't give you everything. I can't tell you guys everything.
Yes, you can. I mean, come on. You're on here. You're giving us enough information. You might as well just give us the whole itinerary. Just go for it.
Yeah, the whole thing. But
yeah, the whole thing.
No, we're going to see a ton of really, really cool stuff. We've been doing a lot of research on it, and the exact itinerary still works, but we're definitely going to have a trip worth at least considering going on.
Okay, well, you have to give me some more information once you get it all figured out. So
yes, I could.
Maybe we'll just make that our trip this year instead of the 2 weeks that he's trying to plan.
It would actually work out. Y'all could do Yellowstone first, and then just go with us on the trip up the Glacier.
Shh, girl, don't encourage him.
Oh,
no, he does not need any more help with that.
All right. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're not.
I'm not.
So tell us some more about your rig. So what exactly you're driving in Tacoma? You're driving. Yes. You have the rooftop. You've got the stock system. I can't talk. I told you it was a long day. I apologize.
You're good.
But are you going to be doing any upgrades or any upcoming projects to your rig?
Yes. Replacing my suspension is rapid on the list, and that's a fun story.
Okay.
I'm hoping by the end of this year to have a full height bed rack so I can get a soft topper. One of my ultimate goals in life is to have a soft topper on my truck.
Okay.
And most people don't get it, but I think it's so exciting.
So why is that so exciting?
Because, okay, so I like the idea of having a camper shell on my truck, but I don't like how the hard shells look. And I wanted something I could like, if I really was just desperate and didn't want to open the tent, I could sleep in it, but I could also just roll the soft topper back. It's easy to take off. I just always thought they were cool, and I like the idea of like unrolling my windows and like. But I also wanted to build my own drawer system instead of going all in and buying like a deck. As nice as they are, I can't afford one of those.
Right.
So I was like, if I get a soft topper though, I could build my own drawer system, and I thought something like that would be really awesome. So I think suspension, gears, and that bed rack and a soft topper would probably be like my close near future.
Okay.
New upgrades.
I love it. Yeah. I have a custom built drawer system in the back of the 4Runner, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, you 4Runner people get that luxury.
You could do it in the Tacoma. My husband's talking about doing it in his at some point.
I just worry. I would worry it would like leak or I don't know.
I hear a lot of good things about the soft top. So I've got a friend that's got one on his Power Wagon and loves it.
Yeah, that's why I want the soft topper though, because then I can build it. I don't have to worry. I was excited.
So being from Georgia, what's your favorite go-to spot in Georgia to go overland?
Ooh, that's hard. A lot of Georgia off-road trails actually have been shut down.
Really?
There's a lot of vandalism, a lot of trash, a lot of like people will go camping and just leave campsites actually just demolished with trash. They just they'll dump whole washing machines, dryers, dishwashers, like literally half their life, they'll just leave in their campsite. And so a lot of stuff has been shut down, which is something I like to talk about because I want to push people to like clean up. Like you see trash, just carry bags in your truck. It's not that hard.
Right.
It takes up like this much space. Put it in your truck, clean up some trash. It's $2 to dump it. Just go clean it up. But I think
Tell me how you really feel about that one.
I know. Sorry. One of my favorite campsites might be this spot called Jones Creek, though.
Okay.
Going into it, you have to go a couple creeks. It's just like a dirt road, but you go across a couple creeks and you camp by this little stream, and it's like really, really peaceful. And like a lot of people don't know about it, so you can be relatively like undisturbed camping back there. And there's a little waterfall that you can hike to nearby too. It's a lot of fun. As far as camping goes, that's like one of my favorite spots to go.
What about just trails to go hit? Is there anything there that you just like to? You're stressed out, you just need to go hit a trail.
Yeah, I'll go drive up near my house. I'm in Dahlonega, so we're up near the Camp Merrill Ranger Camp, which is like a big ranger training area. But they have a lot of cool trails up there. I love driving up Cooper's Gap and going up to Hawk Mountain, which used to be a really fun trail. It's been gated now, but I like driving up, and there's a loop I could do up there, and it's just scenic and really calming, and there's a pretty lake. Oh, it's so pretty.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I'll have to, we're talking about trying to go out that way, going east, and I'm like, Taylor's constantly inviting us to stuff. We just need to go. But
yes.
like, everything is 12 hours or more just to get to you before we even, can join the event. So it's like leave a day early and then get there. So
yeah, y'all need like an extended weekend. I'll let you know about some fun trips we're doing that y'all could come on.
Okay. So so you said you're doing this Windrock thing that's coming up next weekend, right?
Yes, next weekend, 14th through 16th.
Okay, so what is that?
So we're working with like another group called Venture Unknown, and we're doing a pretty big, hopefully snow chasing trip. We love Windrock. It's in Tennessee. It's 3 hours from my house, and it's one of my favorite spots to go. We've day tripped it before. Gotten up at 4 a.m. and driven up there and spent the whole day up there. It's such a blast. But we're gonna go hit some trails. We're gonna have group rides, anything from mild to wild, and we're gonna have some raffles. I know Sean, who runs Venture Unknown, has been working on getting a lot of really solid raffle prizes, like from Midland, Warren. I think BFG is sponsoring it. It's gonna be a really big, fun thing.
So one of our sponsors for the radio show is the Moore Expo and Big Iron. Have you heard about those at all?
Yes.
Have you guys thinking about trying to come out for them?
I would like to. I'll be moving to New York in March, so I have to like explore how it could all work, but I really, really want to. And I know my fiance was talking about taking his company to Moore, so that would probably work out really convenient.
That would work out. So why would you... Adam, I'm not sure what you're meaning about ask Lee about some waterfall leads. I'm kind of scared as to where Lee might lead her. I'm sure I'm going to catch grief for that one here in a minute. So why are you moving to New York?
Well, my fiance lives in New York. His company's up there, and they have a shop. They do fabrication. They do parts installs. So we're moving up there so he can continue doing that without having to sacrifice it.
Right.
Basically, he's lived there all his life.
So you were telling me a really interesting story earlier about how you and your fiance met.
Yes, we have two different stories. My version of the story is that he found me on Facebook, and I actually didn't tell you this part, but he found me on Facebook, joined my off-road group, and then every time I'd make an event, he'd mark himself as going. And he lives in New York, so he wasn't driving down here every time.
Right.
So he'd mark himself as going, and he did this for probably 2 or 3 months. He'd mark himself as going, and at the last minute, he'd be like, not going, not going. And if he told me later, he's like, I figured you were a girl who drove a truck. You probably had a lot of weird guys reaching out to you. I had to get your attention somehow.
Oh,
and so he'd go, going, not going, going, not going. Well, Appalachian Toyota Roundup, which is Labor Day weekend every year in Tennessee, was coming up. And he marked himself as going, and I was trying to secure campsites. So finally I messaged him, and I was like, so are you actually going to show up to this event? Because I'm booking campsites. Like, are you actually going to be here? And he's like, I'm going to be there with my friend. I'm helping him run his booth. And we ended up, that was the first time we like kind of, we'd occasionally chit-chatted on social media before then, but it wasn't like anything more than like conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ended up actually meeting at the Toyota Roundup, and we couldn't stop talking. And from there, it was like, we couldn't stop texting or talking. It was like a whole snowball effect. And we started dating really soon after that.
Love it.
Yeah.
So you and I you had mentioned to me, because you were just talking about the Appalachia Roundup.
Yes.
So the photo that I used for the ad for the announcement of having you on, where was that photo taken?
That was taken at Red Clay Rally this year.
Okay, so what is Red Clay Rally? Because I had never heard of this until you started talking to me about it.
Okay, it's so much fun.
Okay.
The Red Clay Rally is this 3-day off-road rally that happens every year. It's relatively new, but it's really quickly gaining interest on the East Coast. This past year, I think they had over 60 teams, if I remember correctly. So last year they ran 600 miles in 3 days. This year they kept it a little more condensed so we could have the same campsite, but it's still like each day. So they start out with mild trails. Mild. It all will require sliders and a lift kit. I wouldn't just go out. If you're going into the competition level, I wouldn't just go out doing this stock.
Okay.
But next year they're doing a competition level. They're going to do a touring version, and they also have motorcycles. But since we're talking about overlanding, overlanding.
Yes.
They have the competition level, and then they have the touring level. So the competition level is going to be more high intensity, more technical trails. You know, you're going to require all your recovery gear, all your knowledge, you know, all your focus. And the touring is going to be still off-roading, but more scenic. I've done it 2 years in a row. This year we finished 9th. Last year we finished like 20 something. It was a whole mess. This year we finished 9th despite having a broken CV axle. I was in 2-wheel drive the last 20 or 30 miles. I would say 20 because a lot of it was pavement. But then we got on the Daniel Boone backcountry byway.
Okay.
Those who've done it,
they know.
They know. And which is fine if I had 4-wheel drive, but I was in 2-wheel drive. So we ended up finishing out day 3 being towed by my teammate, who's Chris W. He was towing. We had a tow line the whole way back. It was,
oh my gosh,
a whole mess. CV axle snapped right before that on the Cat, but it's just a blast. It's a blast. And even if you don't come to compete, it's just the community there. You know, at nighttime at camp, everyone's going around sharing food, sharing drinks, sharing stories. It's just no one's there. Like, even if they're competing, everyone's helping each other. It's just a really awesome event.
Okay, so Christy's wanting to know, what's the name of that event again?
Red Clay Rally.
In Kentucky.
Yes, it's in Kentucky.
Okay. Make sure they know where to go find it, which state they need to be in. Yep. To me, it sounds awesome. My only concern is because you're saying that some of it's like super technical. So my 4Runner's my family car, my daily driver. I know you said that yours is too. Your Tacoma is. Oh, yeah. But it cracks me up because you're just like, forget it. We're going. And I absolutely love how fearless you are when it comes to it. It's astounding. It's inspirational. You were one of the first people I started following on Instagram when I really got into overlanding. My first year, I was like a poser. I swear, I did it all wrong. I started with headlights and lights and not lift, like the right way to do things.
I did too. It's all
you
good.
Did. I just didn't want to be the soccer mom vehicle, so I wanted to stand out and I wanted it to be quick. So, yes, I went lights instead. So it's good to know that I'm not the only one.
Yeah, no, I started that way. You're good.
It's fantastic. So I know you said you had gotten out of an abusive relationship. Yeah. But so was that what got you started into overlanding? Like, what really pushed that?
Actually, in high school, I had a friend who had when I met him and his brother both had 4Runners. Okay. And they both had these rooftop tents, which at the time I was like, whoa, it's a big black box on their truck. But like, I met them and I hung out with Matt, a couple times. His name was Matt. And he took me up some trails, and I was like, wow, this is so much fun. He took me up some like at the time it was interesting. I don't know if it was as crazy as I feel like it was, but it felt crazy having never been doing that before.
Right.
And then we were, just talking, and he's talking about how he always goes camping, and his rooftop tent. And he was like, and I found out the big black box was actually a tent that folds out. I was like, what? It blew my mind.
Right.
And from there, I just always had that idea. And, us being friends, I was always seeing what he was doing on Instagram. And I was like, one day I want to get into that. But at the time, I was in school. I was living at college.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it's just not right now. And I wasn't really working. I was just focusing on my school as much as I could. I had a little job, but I wasn't doing anything enough to pay for a tent and mods. Right. I was like, one day I want to do that. And I was always looking for people on campus, and I'd catch myself like looking at all the trucks and like kind of picking out the difference between who off-roaded and who was just lifted. And I was like, one day I'm going to do it. And I was in that relationship. And then when I got out of it, I was like, you know what, screw it. I need like a drastic life change kind of thing. And I was like, I've always wanted to do that. Might as well jump in now. With both feet. Let's go.
I love it.
And I needed to reinvent myself. And that was just how I ended up doing it.
I applaud you for it. That is amazing. A lot of people have to struggle overcoming a situation like that. I know you've been pretty honest about everything on your social media as to what you've been through. Not going to go into all of that with you, but
it's all good. It's all good. I don't mind talking about it because I don't think enough people talk about it. They post what looks pretty, and
right.
And I try. That's why on Instagram I know some it may seem negative, but it's just me trying to be real. I'm like, if someone else is reading that and they're in that situation, even if they're not brave enough to talk about it, I want them to know someone else went through it and they're not alone.
Right. And everyone needs that. It's good to know that there's somebody out there who's willing to listen to them and, help guide them in a direction. So with that being said, what's some advice that you would give to women who want to start overlanding, but not really sure what they need to do besides not start with headlights or lights on their vehicle if they have it and they want to go that route? Do lift first.
Here's my advice.
Okay.
Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
That was how I got my bed rack. That's how I got my first lift kit. That's how I got my wheels. Okay. I paid like $400 or $500 for full lift kit. They were Bilsteins. I loved my Bilsteins. They just couldn't hold up to the weight over time once I started doing everything. But I love my Bilsteins. I had them. Facebook Marketplace. My wheels were brand new. At the time I thought it was cool. They were unscratched, blue, color matched fuel wheels. Okay. And I thought they were so cool. Which they looked really good. They matched the truck well. But these fuel wheels, they were probably $1,400 set, brand new, and I was like $600. Yeah, doing awesome. I traded someone for my bed rack for my hard tonneau cover. Just using Facebook was a big thing, or not even just Facebook, but mostly Facebook. I didn't want to jump in and buy something insanely expensive just because everyone told me I needed the best. I said, you know what? I'm going to look for something that can get me started, that I can beat to death, and then I can get something nicer later. Which is exactly what happened with my Bilsteins. Like, I got the shocks, beat them to death, and then I started moving to something nicer. That's a whole other story. But just not being afraid to start with what you can do, and also not being afraid to take, on the topic of overlanding, don't be afraid to go out there stock, and don't be afraid to admit that you may not know anything. Everyone had to start there.
Right.
And if you ask questions, like if you ask the right questions to the people in this community, they love talking about it. I mean, obviously they're immersed in it. It's their thing. They love talking about it. Ask questions and don't be afraid to show up even if you aren't built yet. Know your limits, but show up.
I agree that my first event was January of 2020. And I went completely stock on an event in Arkansas called Express Rally. I got stuck. It was, Like the first day you're just hitting back roads and driving between, cities. The second day you're at an overland park, you're off at an off-roading park, and sure enough, we were supposed to be on the green trails. Somehow we ended up on the red trail. Stock height forerunner, street tires, just horrible situation. And I got stuck, and the group behind us, they left. They turned around, went up the right trails. I'm sitting here stuck and had to use 2 sets of traction boards to get over this rock. But once you were over it, there was no place to turn around at that point. So I went for it.
No.
But my kids were like, "Mom, we're gonna fall off this mountain." They're screaming in the back seat. So it was one of those like worst nightmare situations, but it was so much fun, and I didn't let it defeat me, which is what I highly recommend to everybody.
Yeah, it probably taught you a lot too.
It did. Lifting tires were the first thing I did when I got home. So I was like, I'm never getting stuck again.
I don't blame you there. It's all fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun. So what's the biggest challenge you've had to face when it comes to overlanding and being a woman in the male-dominated community?
Honestly, exactly that. I show up to these events and people expect me to be them, I feel like, but then also as a woman, I feel like some people think it's just cool that I'm out there, and then some people I think expect more. And so there's always that pressure that I know I'm being watched. I know I'm a girl, I'm showing up, and I'm out here doing things that a lot, not all girls, but a lot of girls aren't comfortable doing. I know it's unusual. And like Red Clay Rally, I saw, I think, 2 other women driving. And we're talking like 60 teams, and they have at least 2 vehicles per team, and 2 people minimum per vehicle. It's like, so that was saying a lot. But I lost my train of thought now. I can't remember where I was going.
And I thought I was having a rough day.
I know. No, it's late.
So challenge, yes, it is later there than it is here for you.
Yeah, no, it's hard because I feel like there's always pressure and people always expect a lot out of me as a woman, while also not expecting much out of me as a woman. And so I feel like I'm always trying to prove myself. I'm always trying to say, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, I know this. Yeah, I know this. And then some people, like I said, love explaining when you don't understand something. And then some people just want to like knock you off your feet and be like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, dude, I'm a girl. I'm out here. I've been doing this a little over a year. I'm out here doing my best. Got me some slack.
Right.
But it's okay. I like proving people wrong, and I like learning new things. And I'm not afraid to admit when I don't know something either. I don't know how to do that. I'm not comfortable with that. It's okay. I don't have to be.
Right. No. No, and like one thing that I always tell women when they're wanting to get involved is, go out with a group. Go out with some people that you know from the community to help you get kind of more or less your feet wet, get you comfortable with the trails, show you some things before you show up at these big events and get overwhelmed because you're expected to know and you don't know, or you're too intimidated to talk to somebody. So I definitely, appreciate where you're coming from with all of that. Now I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, no, 120%. Being honest with yourself, and that's I guess that'd be another piece of advice, is being able to know your limit and not being afraid to just be like, you know what, I'm not comfortable with this.
Right. It's okay to be scared, but the fun's always just over that step of fear. But it's definitely, you have to be ready to take that deep breath and just go for it and hope for the best. But afterwards, you're going to look back and go, I just did that. I killed it. I may have done it wrong, but I did it. So yes, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, 100%.
So what's your favorite trips so far that you've done?
Like of all time?
Of all time.
I gotta be honest, it might have been that West trip I did with my friend.
Okay.
Because we didn't really know each other at the time either. Like we'd hung out a couple times and we like kind of texted, but we hadn't spent a ton of time hanging out. And I was like, I'm gonna do this trip. I need someone to go with me. You want to go? And he was like, cool. whatever. And so we just literally whimsically got in the car and went. And we ended up going to New Mexico. We ended up going to Utah. We went to Colorado. And then we kind of like did a little exploring in the middle. But it was honestly one of the like biggest turning points. Is like that was when I started realizing what I wanted to do with Wander Off Road. But I also made so many friends out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it opened so many other doors and just like expanded the community. And I'm still friends with all those people that I met on that trip. And I actually met up with a lot of them when I went to Colorado this summer again. They all came out again. But it was just like one adventure after another and like stuff we never could have seen coming. And it was.
I love that once
once
you join this community, you're never alone.
Mm-mm.
You'll always find somebody in wherever you're going to be to show you something that maybe you didn't know about or just tag along for a while. So
yeah,
I love it. So
100%.
I know that you said you got some. If you didn't have your Tacoma, what would be your dream overland vehicle? Like my husband's goal is to live the van life, which is not happening. He can try as much as he wants. It's never going to happen.
Okay, well, vans count as overland vehicle.
Oh, I know.
I've been dying to convert a school bus.
Okay.
I've seen so many people do it on Instagram. And I know it's not like true overlanding, but like living out of the bus and just being like, oh, we're going to pull off on the side of the road and this is just home for the next 2 days. Like that just seems so cool.
But you wouldn't be able to get back as far as like as normal.
That would be the hiccup. I think the only other thing I could, like my Tacoma is my dream. I think the only thing I would probably get is a Tundra.
Okay. I do like the new Tundra.
More space. Like more space. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah. Jeff, I think you meant short bus. There you go. Okay.
Well, that's a good idea too. But probably a Tundra, to be honest. And then I would get one of those, like you see on Expedition Overland, where they have, it's like the hard shell camper, but it like has the rooftop that's connected and has a little kitchen space in the bed of the truck. Like that looks so cool. If I could afford something like that and like build that out of a Tundra, I think it'd be really awesome. And a Tundra would have a lot more space for traveling with my daughter too.
Right.
So
I like the new Tundras. I'm not gonna lie. I've been eyeballing them, but my 4Runner, that was my dream vehicle, my first 4x4 vehicle, and I can't see getting rid of her. I offered it to my son because he's 13. I was like, "You're gonna be 16 before long." I was like, "Would you want the 4Runner?" He's like, "No, that's your dream car. I don't want it."
Aww.
I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." But dude, I can get a new one. And he's like, "No, it's okay."
Aw, that's so sweet. That's really awesome, though.
Yes. So your wedding, you and I talked about your honeymoon.
Yes.
You guys are going to do a unique style honeymoon.
Yes. We're kind of doing a little road trip. Driving my truck out. We're staying in some hotels, but we're also going to do a little bit of camping. We're going to go to Yellowstone. We're going to go to Grand Tetons. We're going to spend some time in Jackson. Then we're going to go down into Colorado and look for wild horses. And then we're heading over toward Rocky Mountain National Park and like just working our way back across the country like that.
I love that you guys were incorporating overlanding into your wedding and your honeymoon as part of it.
For me, it felt very necessary. It took a little convincing to get Andrew on board. He's like, "It's gonna be cold," and I was like, "But it's gonna be so fun." Like looking back on the memories, it's gonna be exciting.
Well, so you guys can always do the diesel heaters to keep warm.
He has one, so I'm hoping we can hook that up.
He has no excuse now at this point.
Like, come on, we got the diesel heater. Let's go. We can do it.
That's fantastic. I can't wait to see the photos.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be really fun.
He's gonna be all bundled up and yelling.
Which is funny. He's from New York, so I figured he'd be more used to it. Well, he also that's probably why he doesn't want to do it, because he's from New York. He's probably done this before.
It could be. Well. I mean, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. So,
I still
what's your favorite meal when you go camping?
Ooh, I can answer this really easily. Sweet and spicy chicken tacos.
Okay, so...
And Philip's going to hate that I said that.
Why?
He's so tired of eating them.
Okay, so what do you do to make these sweet and spicy chicken tacos?
It's really simple. Well, So we have the fillet version, we have the Taylor version. The Taylor version is you take the chicken and you cut it up in little cubes, right? Like a boneless, skinless chicken breast. You cut it up in cubes, and you'll cook it in the pot with some mild or like taco seasoning, whatever your hotness is preferred. I use mild. Mild. There's my fiance.
We're not forgetting about the heater, Andrew. Sorry.
Yep. So you take the chicken, cut it up, you cook it in the pot with taco seasoning. And once it's pretty cooked with the taco seasoning, you add a little water to get the seasoning a little more saucy. Right. Then you add a jar of salsa, and then like a half a jar-ish of peach preserves. And then you stir it all together, and then you put the lid on it on low, let it sit for a minute so it kind of absorbs the flavor. And then literally I just put it on tortilla shells with some cheese. If I'm fancy, I'll make rice, but I usually don't because me and camp rice don't agree. So I just put the chicken on the tortilla with some cheese, and like that chicken, it seems so simple, but it is some of the best chicken you will ever eat in a campsite ever. It's so good.
The look on your face is just like, oh my God, I'm in heaven just talking about it.
I know. Actually, my stomach just growled. I'm like, oh, I could go for some sweet and spicy chicken right now. It sounds so good.
I'm gonna have to try this because tacos are like my go-to.
I'll make it in Montana.
Okay, so if we go to Montana,
it's on the dinner itinerary.
Okay, I know that you're gonna make it, so then I don't have to. This sounds good. I'm all for it.
Yeah,
AJ,
so
welcome
good.
to the group. AJ's got his wife is he's trying to convince her to come join us.
Ooh.
I'm trying to tell him that he needs to come out camping with me sometime, and we'll show her some ropes. So everyone is asking now for you to share this recipe.
Yes, I can do that. I'll post it in the Wander Off Road Facebook group after this.
Okay.
So go join the group if you're not in it, and I will post it.
I love it. This just went completely to like cooking instead of just overlanding.
Yeah, well, we can talk about camping with kids if you want to jump into that.
Oh, go for it.
Camping with kids. I get asked about this a lot, so it's actually something I wanted to mention.
Okay.
So I've camped with her. I took her camping right when she first started crawling. So she was like 10 months old. Took her camping. And I'm not saying it's easy, but to all the people who are like, my 1-year-old can't go camping, they can.
Yes. Yes,
just do it. Here's my secret. When I go camping with her, I have the rooftop tent, but I made sure I got an annex for it for this purpose. And so I was zipping up the annex, and I'll put the floor on it in case it's summertime with bugs and stuff. It keeps bugs out, and it helps with the rain if it's rainy.
Right.
And I put her pack and play down below. Because it's a tent. It's not like it's that soundproof. I can hear anything, any movement, any whine, anything.
Right.
And I'll sleep right up above with my head as close to the door as I can. But that is like the biggest game changer. I've been camping with her since she was tiny, and I still take her camp. Now she kind of sleeps in the tent with me because she's a little bigger, but because she didn't really fit in the pack and play anymore. But guys, camping with kids, just do it. Your life doesn't have to stop. It works.
Oh no, definitely. Yay, AJ, I'm so excited. His wife's agreed to go, so we are going to plan a trip. So with that, so Alex is asking about how much space do you think you need for baby gear? So you got a car seat?
Yeah. Car seat. I usually pack her a small duffel bag. I haven't taken her out more than like 2 or 3 nights though. I haven't ventured out for like extended periods of time. Okay. But I'm not brave enough yet. But I usually take a duffel bag, and I've mostly taken her. I haven't really taken her in the winter either. I've always taken her in the summer. So I take her a duffel bag, and I take, whatever normal summer day clothes she would wear, but also like throw in a couple jackets. I've thrown in fleecy pajamas just to be safe. You never know how chilly it can get at night,
right?
Depending on where you're camping. A few extra blankets, but I could fit it all in a little duffel bag. I took her pack and play duffel bag, and when she was little, I had her bottles and stuff, but I was able to fit all that in the duffel bag as well. So honestly, it may have taken up like the back actual seat, but it wasn't like piled high. I tried to be kind of minimal. I took a couple of toys, But mostly it works in my benefit. She loves being outside. She's very entertained by anything outdoors. So like I never had to pack like if I had a bouncy ball, like a ball or something, she's thrilled. Soccer ball, she's happy as can be. She doesn't need anything else.
And the sooner you start taking kids camping, the easier it is. The more
Yes.
the more content they are with the sticks and picking up rocks and just exploring and seeing what's to be seen.
She'll pick up bugs. She'll pick
fantastic.
up beetles and millipedes, and I'm like, put that down, please.
You're like, I don't want to see it. I'm good.
Oh yeah, that's disgusting.
She doesn't know that yet.
No, she's like, it's a bug. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a nasty bug.
So Alex wants to know, how did you handle the sleeping again? So you put the annex up around the ladder.
Put the annex up with the floor, just in case of rain, bugs, whatever, it keeps it out. And I put the pack and play down below. And if I was worried about it being cold, I would also take the buddy heater, just so I could run it on and off through the night as needed. Because when I put it down below, the heat would rise up too, so it'd warm everything. And what I would do is I would sleep how she was sleeping. So like if she was like wearing a long sleeve shirt and like little pants or something, I would sleep the same way. If she had 2 blankets, I only have 2 blankets. That way I always knew about what temperature she was. So if I woke up feeling kind of chilled, I knew she was cold, and I'd go down there, put extra blankets on, turn the heater on, whatever. Pack and play was your friend.
Yes.
And now
pack and play is huge.
Yes, the pack and play was the big thing. What?
Don't ask. This
I don't know how to answer this.
Don't. He's talking to my husband. It's
okay.
It's a fiasco that I'm sure is going to come to light at some point. It's quite comical, but just keep an eye out on my Instagram.
He's laughing.
It's going to be great.
Oh dear.
I can't with those two. They get going and it just goes. But no, that's all great advice, because my kids, we had a ground tent, and we'd go camping once a year, a couple times a year, because I hated camping. My game changer was strictly the I don't even know. But so my game changer was the rooftop tent. Ever since then, it has been, I want to go camping constantly. I don't want to be at home. I want to be out exploring. So I envy the fact that you got to start so early with her, where my kids have just gotten into this really the last couple of years. But, it is definitely some great advice. Val and Alex are beyond excited about having some tips towards that direction.
Oh yeah. Well, for me, it came to a point where I was like, the only way I can go out is if I learn how to take her with me.
Right.
I'm like, if it's the weekend and I'm just sitting around my house and I don't have plans, I don't like that. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go camping. I'm going to go do something. And I wanted to get more comfortable. And so now I don't know what to do. She doesn't fit in the pack and play anymore. So I'll circle back with y'all on that. We got to figure something new out.
Inflatable mattress.
She's not sleeping in a big girl bed yet, but she's too big for the pack and play. So it's like, I don't know. I tried sleeping with her in my tent once this summer.
How'd that go?
Well, at 6 a.m. I was being poked. And then she was whispering, hey mom, and poking me. I'd be like, oh, go to sleep. She'd roll over a few minutes later. And I was like, okay, we're not doing this again. This isn't happening again. We're going to figure something else out.
I wonder if you could use, the little octagon-shaped baby gates? Little things you can do.
Ooh.
Like split it in half and like base it off your truck or something, or around the ladder, and put like a little air mattress or a little like twin size, crib mattress or something on it.
I wonder if that would work. That's an interesting idea.
Just tossing some ideas out there. No idea if that would work.
I want to investigate that idea.
Okay, let me know how that goes.
Okay, I will.
Okay, so favorite piece of overland camping gear, like your must-have.
I'm going to plug something I sell, but only because I absolutely love it as well.
Oh, nice save there.
The Nebo collapsible lantern.
Okay.
I have one. I can't go get it, but I have one actually in my room right now. But it's 1,000 lumens, rechargeable, and it has like red light features too, and like 3 different intensities. And they literally just collapse.
Uh-huh.
Dude wipes are great, but this lantern's better. I'm sorry. I hate walking around in the dark. I hate it so much. I can't stand it. I love having lanterns all over camp. If you've ever camped with me, you'll see I have like little lanterns everywhere.
So have you seen the Empower inflatable lanterns that are solar?
Ooh. I think I've heard about this.
So that's what we use. And
Okay.
if you're a big light person, so you can either plug them in USB and charge them before a trip, or just throw them on your dash and do solar. I don't do
It's a
lights.
guy thing.
Apparently, I've heard about these not too long ago where they were talking about peppermint and tea tree and swapping, and I didn't.
Oh.
It it was a weird, awkward conversation while camping. Um,
Camp
but
darkness.
so yeah, no, they do. They're dark. Their campground is like always dark. It's hilarious. They never have a light on. Love you, Val, but yeah, it's dark over there. But so these they're like this big when they're broken down,
Mm-hmm.
and but they're a decent size around, and you just blow them up like you would a balloon or a beach ball or whatever, and they're different brightness levels, everything, but they're fantastic.
That's really interesting, actually.
I'll have to show you. I'll send you some photos and
Yes,
show them
please.
to you because they save a ton of space.
That sounds fantastic. Please send them to
I
me.
love how they were still on the dude wipes. Christy, I got nothing on that one. Okay, so other than lanterns, what is another piece of equipment that like you cannot live without?
For camping?
Mm-hmm. Or overlanding or anything?
I don't know. Honestly, I take blankets everywhere I go. I'm always cold. It could be summer and it could be like 60 something and I'm freezing. I take blankets everywhere with me. But I just got this. This is another, not a plug, but something really cool that I'm going to talk about. I discovered this brand called Rumple.
Okay.
And if y'all have ever seen the Eno hammocks that like compact into a little bag, it's the same concept. It's a camping sleeping bag material blanket with down stuffing that compacts into a bag about like this.
Okay.
It's like a whole blanket. It's like it'll fit a twin size bed, but it compacts into a little bag. It's really warm. Other than that, I always keep a blanket with me. I'm always cold. I always keep my recovery kit on me.
Mm-hmm.
Always keep a tow strap, a tree saver, and a snatch block. I have a winch, so it works with all. But I always keep like at least a tow strap and a tree saver in my truck.
Mm-hmm.
Always. You never know when that could come in handy.
Right.
I don't know. I try to be pretty simple with my camping. I'm like, I got my lantern, I got my stove, I got my couple pots and pans, and I'm pretty set. The Rumple blankets are awesome. I got one of the national park ones, and I haven't like actually used it winter camping yet, but it's been really cool so far.
I'm gonna have to look at these. I haven't heard of them, but I'm always looking for any way to save space when it comes to camping gear.
Oh yeah.
Because it's four of us that always go, and you just have the kids just bring too much crap. I swear.
Yeah.
There's extra stuff that shouldn't be there because you got your kids along. So
yeah, kids bring a lot of stuff.
This is fantastic. All right, well, do some more. Do you have any more advice when it comes to, like, so when you're driving with Oak, with your daughter, how do you keep her entertained when you're trying to get to your campsites?
That's
she's
awesome.
little, and it's harder to keep the little ones entertained.
She's little, and we like to joke that you have your average 2-year-olds, and then there's Oakland, and she's like 3 2-year-olds in one. I know like 2-year-olds have energy. I was a preschool teacher. My kid has more energy than all of them. I know what's up. She's very energetic. She likes to be moving. She doesn't handle long car rides super well. So that has been one thing to work through. TV shows. I never thought I'd be the parent with the TV going in the car, but when it comes to a long trip, I mean, I don't do it across town, but like if we're in the car for like 3 hours, that TV's going on. If she ain't crying in the back seat, the TV's going on. I don't care. She watches Cocomelon. She watches Curious George. She watches Tom and Jerry. She loves Tom and Jerry. And there's a show on Netflix. It's like Spirit the horse, but it's like a TV show series they made off of it, and she loves it. Snacks. I always have snacks with me. I keep applesauce squeezes in the car. Make sure her water's always full and accessible to her. She has a cup holder on her car seat. I always keep Cheerios, chips, like stuff that's not. The applesauce could go everywhere, but she doesn't usually drop it. But other stuff that's like easy to clean up if it spills.
Right.
Snacks. I take a couple horses or like her little toys. TV's the big one.
So you're just doing it like on an iPad?
Yeah, she has a little tablet and it mounts to the back of my seat.
Okay.
And so she can watch her little shows. And I try to keep them like clean or like educational. But TV shows and snacks, all the entertainment that girl needs.
Right.
She's got her food. She's got her Curious George. She's good.
I love how you said that you're trying to watch it and then you're letting her watch Tom and Jerry.
Oh yeah, she loves Tom and Jerry.
Oh, I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
So
she just all she sees when she looks at it is the cat. She says like a kitty cat. It's running around. She's thrilled.
That's awesome. So Alex is wanting to know about the rumple blankets.
Okay, so again, I haven't had the opportunity to test it like cold camping yet, so I couldn't totally vouch for it. I would say it's warm enough that I would probably use it on a summer night, just the blanket.
Okay.
I'll be able to give you better feedback after next weekend about that blanket because I'm going to be using it.
A lot.
Yes.
Along with your buddy heater.
Oh yeah. Tennessee in the snow at Windrock. Oh my gosh. It was so cold.
I'm sad I'm going to miss this one, but it looks like a lot of fun from what I saw in the description.
Oh yeah. Windrock's always fun. It's always something. You could go a month apart and hit the same trail and it's 2 completely different trails. Like it's just so fun. There's something for everyone. There's anything from dirt roads with pretty views to like straight up rock crawling that I would never take my truck up.
Oh, why not? You're all about sending it. I've seen some of your stuff.
I'm all for sending it, but then there's certain trails I'm like, every Tacoma that's gone in there has blown their headers. Ooh. I don't think I'm going to do that.
Right? I have to get it home.
Yeah, I'm going to just drive it now. No, but they have everything, and like there's so much. And the other thing about Windrock is it's 72,000 acres, if I'm remembering correctly. And so you could be there a week and not hit every single trail that's there. So there's always something new to explore. There's always variety. There's always something incredible. One of my favorite places in Windrock is Caryville Flats. Okay. It's not directly on the map, but once you know where it is, it's easy to find. But if you get up there early in the morning, you can see elk. Because Windrock Park is a part of an elk repopulation program.
Okay.
Elk used to be as common as deer in the southeast, and they were hunted to extinction in our area. And so Windrock Park has started letting people use, or however it worked, Caryville Flats is used as part of the repopulation program for the elk. And so if you go up there early in the mornings, you could see them, which is so wild. I've only ever seen them out west.
Right. So yeah, we saw one just decide to cross the road while we were at the Grand Canyon. Just did not care at all that he was stopping traffic both ways, and it was a long line. But they're beautiful animals. They're huge.
They're massive.
Yes,
they're so cool. We saw them in Colorado. They were so cool.
It's fantastic. All right, Taylor. So tell everybody where they can find you. I know that you have your Wander Off-Road page, but where can they find you on Instagram?
Instagram, my handle is @steel, like the metal, _magnolia with 3 A's. @steel magnolia.
You're probably going to get a bunch of follow requests now.
That's cool.
Good.
Working on my new Overland content.
What do you have going on there?
Well, I had honestly just tried to create anything, but I had some friends send me some hoodies that they wanted product shipments of, so I'm gonna go and plug them to Yoda Mafia, who everyone knows, but well, everyone should know Yoda Mafia. 614 Yoda. He's a really cool guy. He's trying to start up his company, but he's about to get a website. But if you message him on Instagram, he can hook you up with some really cool hoodies. And he makes stuff for women specifically that I was so excited about. He made some crop hoodies for women, some tank tops, and they're not just like every other hoodie.
Right.
I was really pumped about them, but I have some stuff I need to shoot content for.
Okay.
For that and promoting that, and I want to talk a little more about camping with kids and pushing into overlanding on a budget, because I know that a lot of people like they go on Instagram and they're looking at these rigs and they're like, wow, that's what it takes to be an overlander, and it's like this really unrealistic expectation.
Right.
And I've done everything on a pretty small budget. It's possible. You don't have to go out and be extravagant to get into this, and I just want to talk more about it and help people realize that as well.
So other than Marketplace, what other advice do you have when it comes to overlanding on the budget? Because I know that you said that before when we've talked that you do have a budget when you overland. So even when you're doing your trips, you stick to a really tight budget. So how are you able to pull off some of your extended week trips where you're not out a whole bunch of money? Because there's always that meme about you have to spend a fortune to act like you're homeless.
Yeah. I mean, it can be accurate. Honestly, when I go on trips, the most expensive thing I do is gas. And there's no way around that. But I do have an app called Get Upside, and I usually try to stop at gas stations that are partnered with them, because you can get cash back. It may only be like 5 cents a gallon, but it's something coming back. It's not just like I'm throwing all of them away. Bring your own food. Eat out as little as possible. I pack, when I'm actually like overlanding, I literally pack all my food. I try to cook everything, or even cook in advance and have it frozen and in the cooler so it defrosts as I'm traveling. Free campsites, I hunt those like crazy. Or I go to this website called freecampsites.net, where they'll show you free places you can camp, but also inexpensive places you can camp. And I've stayed at KOAs and stuff before in Colorado for like based on location, depending on certain trips. But otherwise, I like when I did that trip out west with my friend, I don't think we paid for camping a single night. We free camped everywhere we went, and it was all through freecampsites.net. So literally the most expensive thing I did was gasoline.
So are you running a refrigerator or dual system in your dual battery in your car, or no? In your truck?
I have a cooler.
You have a cooler?
I just have a cooler, and I buy ice as I need it. And that's just like dumb stuff, like make sure your plug is closed. Don't leave the lid cracked, even if you're just at camp. I always latch my lid down, and it seems like it could get annoying if you're cooking and like constantly opening it, but it minimizes the ice melting as much as possible. I just have a cooler. It's like a $70 Walmart cooler.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you don't always have to have the refrigerator, and a lot of people think that they do, or they have to run the dual battery setup. I don't have a dual battery setup on mine, on my 4Runner. I do run a refrigerator, but
I wish I had a refrigerator.
I like mine. It's great because it has its own battery, which means I don't have to run the dual battery. But the company apparently has gone out of business. I don't think they survived COVID. So once something happens to this, I am going to be right back to a cooler at this rate, or I'm going to have to go spend $1,200 on a different one and have to do the dual battery setup.
Amazon has off-brand refrigerators. I know my business partner Philip got his refrigerator there, and I know he did not pay that much for it.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly where it is, but I could get the link and send it to you.
Okay. Yeah, do that. Say we'll get it posted up in the messages, and when we get off of here, if you've got the time, go back into the comments and post, the website that you talked about, the app that you use for the gas, because not everyone's going to remember it later, but it is that good advice for people who are trying to keep overlanding somewhat budget friendly with as expensive as gas is.
Oh yeah, that's nuts.
Yes, I'm saying my Forerunner gets a whopping 12.5 miles per gallon right now. It's horrible.
I got you beat. I'm at 10 now with the roof rack.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
No, when I
just
put a trailer on it, it went in the single digits. I finally hit 9 for the first time in my life and had a trailer on it the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible.
so we just took the tent off of mine and put it on a trailer, and I'm still running about 12, a little over 12 miles per gallon. But I really need to look at possibly. I'm like right at that line where you need to re-gear. So that's probably going to be the next big thing is re-gearing.
Yeah, I need some gears myself. Pretty badly. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of tired of this. Ugh, there's like no power.
Val, our fridge, we love our fridge, but it turned into a can of worms figuring out. Yeah, say that's the big issue is trying to figure out the secondary battery, how you're going to keep it going. So I love that you're using the Walmart cooler. It's awesome.
Oh yeah. I love mine.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think I have one out in the garage that we use as a backup. Brian's using a 600 watt power station. Do you run any solar on your truck?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't have any. Not, I would like it, but I don't have anything.
Okay.
I'm hoping one day when I get to the refrigerator stage, I'll get a solar system and that's how it'll be powered.
There you go.
One day.
One day in the near future. Just tell Andrew that he needs to start like outfitting your rig.
Yeah, no, when you sponsor me.
Yeah, see, there you go. We can help him out. Well, I know it's getting late there. You're an hour ahead of me, and
oh yeah,
I'm sure you're getting tired, and I'm starting to stutter again. So
no, you're good, but it's been fun. Thank you.
This has been a blast. I definitely want to have you back at some point. We'll follow up on how the Rumble bracelet. Oh my God, blanket worked out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just touch base with more of your events.
Yeah, totally. I'm about to drop everything for this coming year on the group. So if you guys aren't in it, go join it.
I expect invitations like I've been getting.
Yes.
Okay.
I will invite you.
Deal.
Always.
I love it. Well, again, tell everybody one more time your page on Facebook and your Instagram handle so they can go find you.
Wander Off-Road on Facebook. I'll drop a link. I'll go back and find this and put a link in the comments too.
Okay.
Wander Off-Road and Steel Magnolia on Instagram at @Steel_Magnolia.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again. It's been an absolute blast and have a good night. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good.